Hey, this is Glenn. Welcome to another episode of Difficult Questions. This one, when do you bite your tongue? This one comes as a request from a friend of mine. She is about my age, so probably, I think she's a little younger, mid 40s. And I think she grew up with the same kind of training on decorum that I grew up with. This idea that everyone has opinions, but you don't need to share yours, or you're very strategic about when you share your opinions. And you are also very strategic about airing dirty laundry or telling people stuff about your life that you maybe shouldn't share, or you should share with specific people. And she was specifically put off about, one, all of the opinions that people were sharing about Jeff Bezos's women that went to space, and if that was a mission, and if that was a marketing ploy, and if that was a real thing, or if it was just privilege, or whatever it was. And the other was, she's a writer, and there are some other writers that love to talk about their successes, but also their failures and their maybe need for money. So this idea that if you get in a spot, you can ask people you don't know to support your cause for whatever that may be. It could be buying your book. It could be paying your rent this month because you're a struggling artist. And then the marketing of that, she was saying that someone had asked for money, but then was later seen at an expensive steakhouse. And this idea that we have this propriety and this need for propriety in a civilized society. And I think two things have really gotten rid of that, or really challenged that. One is social media. Now everybody can vie for the attention that only a few of the elite, the anointed, could once get. And so that attention can also mean an income. You become a personality, and that personality can be turned into a living income for people, and a better than living income for people. So you want to share more. It turns everybody into an entrepreneur. It turns everybody into this entertainment business. Professional entertainers would usually share stuff about their life if it got them somewhere, but it was usually about the work. It could be about the work. But my business coach had once talked about people purchase things from people they like, know, and trust. So your job was to show your possible clientele your personality, your real you. And I think people can get caught up in that. And we have this idea that we can support people we like, people we ally ourselves with. And that could be anybody. So it's this open invitation to overshare. Also, an old adage I heard was, the way you get famous is you throw a brick at a famous person. So if you notice in social media, there are all these people on social media talking about Jeff Bezos and his space women and having opinions on it. We've also turned into not just the news, but wanting an editorial on that news. I think starting with I Blame Jon Stewart and comedy about news. It's not just the news, it's editorializing the news. That's how we want to ingest it. So now legacy media has all of this competition from social media where everybody's throwing a brick at a famous person trying to get famous. And they're also trying to connect with their audience and show them that they're real people. So they're oversharing, they're criticizing all over the place. And I think this was not something that Gen X grew up with. We grew up with this idea of specific sharing, specific criticism, really watching our P's and Q's, and that's not a thing anymore. The other thing is Trump has just changed the game. Usually politicians would not say the quiet part out loud, but he became some people's president and got elected twice, saying some pretty crazy stuff, criticizing people in ways that politicians usually wouldn't, because they're looking at playing the long game. They would never step into something that might hurt them later. We've seen this with, famously, I think Michael Jordan said he didn't share his politics because conservatives and liberals bought tennis shoes. Smart business. But now we've seen business find clientele, find customers by taking a stand, by oversharing, by criticizing. And so we have someone like Elon Musk who is trying to sell Teslas and really stepping on his clientele because what he's saying publicly, the people that wanted the Teslas originally don't agree with. So what do? I know personally, I have pretty much scaled my life down to be a life, and it's mostly a public life, but I pay for that. I don't have people that would not enjoy being around me when I am saying certain things. I also have a private Facebook account for people I've met in real life over the years, and I'll say things there that I wouldn't say on my public accounts. However, I've asked myself, if these things leaked out, would I be able to stand by them? And so I am always thinking about my public persona and what I would say and how I would say it. I'm biting my tongue all of the time. Not many people have to think about that. How many people are trying to be entrepreneurs? How many people are just trying to live their life? How many people just enjoy attention on social media and don't think about what they're saying and who they're publishing it to? I think the common man doesn't understand really that when they publish something on social media, they're publishing something worldwide in perpetuity. And people have run into that. People would say things that they now regret because it comes back to haunt them. I think that we're going to get back to a point of people realizing they need to bite their tongues. And so my friends, I think, will find that in maybe 5 or 10 years, people will start to stop themselves, start to have decorum again, because just criticizing everything, just oversharing everything, just blatantly saying the quiet part out loud starts to alienate people. And you're just in the middle of this noise and it's overwhelming. That's my guess. What do you think? When do you bite your tongue? Should you bite your tongue? Should people have decorum? Should people overshare? Should people criticize everything? Should everyone have a public opinion? Which I think we've seen as the pendulum swings, people kind of do, or they are encouraged to. I don't know. What do you think? Thanks.